So now we have discussed how we can configure services in OneApp customer journey management system, how we can configure appointments. Now the integral part of the system is the display settings. So basically what is a display settings? We have created different branches, and for example, a branch is a polyclinic or a hospital. It would have a reception, it would have a doctor's waiting area. In all these areas, we need display TV screens and all to display the token status and other stuffs. So OneApp's display screens are basically at the same time a token display screen and a digital signage solution. So once you log into a branch, on the left hand side you could see the display settings. You just have to click it to configure the screens that will be in all these branches. It can be centrally managed also. Here you could see the display settings. On the top right, we are going to configure a new display. So we click on the create new display button, and basically we are arriving on this page where you have to configure the title for different screens. What does that mean basically? Say for example, you have a doctor's waiting area and there are two TVs. So in that case, we could simply type like this is a screen or TV screen at doctor's waiting area. So we are now typing, for example, like media screen at type doctor's waiting area. And if the screen is big enough, there is a provision for the screen simultaneously play the token status, and apart from digital signages also, maybe like a video or images or anything. It's very useful for any organization to display the contents and do some advertisements. At the same time you could display tokens because it's grabbing enough eyeball attention of the customers. So here are different types of displays. One is a row type, one is a column type, and one is a sticky column type. Basically what you mean by row type? Row type is something like completely on the screen, row by row, token numbers are displayed. In this case, you can't display digital signages because completely the screen is occupied by token numbers and its statuses. And there is a column type, which means on one column it's images or media content, and on the other side it is the token status. And the third is a sticky column, which means that column by column you could display again token numbers. The first one, row and sticky column, might be suitable for a government office or say passport office where there are a lot of rush and a lot of token numbers are issued. So for the time being we are choosing column as a display type. Once you're choosing column as a display type, the next question is it service based? What do you mean by is it service based? If you're choosing it now, it means that every services would be displayed on that screen. Most of the cases it's not like that. You may have to, for example, or doctor's waiting area, you may have to choose yes and identify the tokens to be displayed in that specific screen. Maybe like a Dr. Juliet or daycare or Dr. Manon or anything like that, which means that in that specific screen this service's token status would be displayed simultaneously. Now the next question is, do you require media? What do you mean by that? Do you want to display a video or images on your screen? Yes, we have to, because we are doing advertisements also. So once you're choosing yes, now the question is which side of the screen you have to display the media. Normally it's on the left side by default, so we are choosing left itself. We could also, you know, there are different provisions like to arrange the volume, media volume, and the video quality also. We can choose it accordingly. So once we are done all those things, now the next question would be post. So now we have chosen the video quality. Now we have to add different images and videos that should be played on the display screen. So now we have chosen on what kind of media type. Image. Image, we can give a title. Let it be like a campaign for advertisement campaign for maybe a new doctor has joined in the clinic or whatsoever. We have to add the specific link for that, through which that we are calling that image. And the next can be a video. So we are going to add a YouTube link. So it's a doctor's talk that you have recently uploaded into your hospital YouTube channel. You can add that link. Once you're adding enough content, these all contents are going to be played on a sequence. It means that you could set a lot of contents, which might be very useful for the centrally managing office to manage different contents in different screens across the hospital. You see, just images, videos, and token status may not be sometimes enough in the screen. There is a provision to give notification messages, maybe like a breaking news scroll or something like that. In this area, notification text, you could give a specific message. Say, a recently joined doctor's appointment, you can call this number, or maybe you have to maintain certain rule in this area, those kind of things. You could you could choose the text size for that scroll message, and you have a provision to choose the color of the scroll message. Once you've done that, now there are certain provisions to show pop-ups of the token. Once a token is called from the counter, on the display screens there are provisions to show pop-ups of the token with a background notification noise sound and a voice readout. Say like token number 10, please proceed to lab, medical lab, or this counter or that counter, like that. The voices can be chosen. It is multilingual. It can be English, it can be some other languages available also. And there is a good provision to show time, standard time of your region. Now there is a provision to show serving token. There is a provision to show served token. There is a provision to show tokens which hasn't shown, which is very useful for the people in the waiting area to identify the token status. So, okay, once you enter enough informations, you can submit, and once you're submitted, you could see the informations of the screen that you have configured. I'm just showing some recent addition to that section. Here we have already added 9 screens in which you are specifically identifying UIDs, which means that it's a very specific ID for each screens that we have configured. And these IDs are essential, which can be used to configure specific screens in specific regions. For example, specific UID we might be configured according to a specific requirement in a specific waiting area. And in those waiting areas, if there are 2 TVs, we could use the same 2 UIDs, which will enable those TVs to display the same content, which might be useful for better visibility and all.